theoretically, or whatever it is, passed away just for a couple seconds, however long it was, with all the other Jews. When God gave the Torah, everybody was... He brings all sorts of proofs that it was, even when Moshe went up to the mountain, he spoke to God, and he was able to hold on. But nevertheless, he says that, okay, but for our purposes, the actual, physical, real date on the calendar that the Baal Shem Tov passed away and that King David passed away, which King David passed away like, almost 3,000 years before that. Something before the Baal Shem Tov, 3,000 years, 2,700 years, something. Before the Baal Shem Tov was King David. Passed away. They both passed away on the same day, the holiday of Shavuos. So therefore, the holiday of Shavuos is connected to Moshe, because that's the day he gave the Torah, and to David HaMelech and the Baal Shem Tov. Mekaven, since, and it's also connected in a more deep way to King David and the Baal Shem Tov. Why? Mekaven, since, she'inyan, that the whole topic of Chirush HaBriya, of the renewal of the creation, Chirush HaBriya, who is Perush, the explanation, HaBaal Shem Tov, of the Baal Shem Tov, Al, on, HaPasuk, the sentence, quote, La'olam, forever, Hashem, God, Devorcha, your words, Nitzav b'Shamayim, are standing in the heavens. You look in the Tanya, there's a second book of the Tanya, is called Shar Yichud Ve'emuna, and there it explains how God really creates the world every second brand new. And the proof that it brings that God creates the world every second brand new, which that's an idea of the Baal Shem Tov, that I don't know if he invented the idea, and he'll reveal the idea, but the Baal Shem Tov certainly popularized the idea. That God, is very important for you to remember that God is creating the world every single second brand new. And where does he bring the sentence from? Where does he bring the proof? From a sentence of King David in Tehillim. So here's the connection of the Baal Shem Tov. It says the world is brand new every second. To King David, that he brought a sentence from King David. What's the sentence? Forever, God, your word is standing in the heavens. In other words, he brings over there that the word that God said, let there be heavens, let there be earth, that when God said these words, as those words stand forever and create the world. So that's what it means. Your word stands always in heaven to create the world. Pasuk, it's a sentence. B'Tehillim, in Psalms, Shene'emar, that was said, Al Yadei, by means of David, David, Na'im Zmiros Yisrael. That's a nickname for King David, or an appellation. What's it called? A description. Na'im Zmiros Yisrael, that he is the pleasant singer. Na'im, the pleasant singer of Israel. Na'im Zmiros. And there's the song we have. Anim Zmiros. Anim means I will make pleasant the songs. King David was called the pleasant singer of Israel. King David was a big king. He was a lot of things. But another one thing he was he wrote the book of Psalms, which is songs. And King David, it says, used to sing the whole night. Not the whole night, but he would wake up at midnight, whenever it was, and he would start playing songs to God. So all of the Psalms are songs to Hashem. And all these songs are about God and how God creates the world and how God, and begging God to help him. King David had all sorts of terrible enemies, bloodthirsty enemies from his own family, from everybody. Everybody hated King David. At one point, King David had the whole entire country was against him. The Jews. That Absalom, his own son, made a revolution, and everyone went with Absalom. King David only had 500 people with him. 500 warriors. Says that King David said, he sang songs, and one of the songs was, forever, God, your word stands in the heavens. And the Baal Shem Tov said this means that God is creating everything, every single second brand new. Lochein, therefore, Yemei, the days, Chag HaShavuos, of the holiday of Shavuot, and there was all these days, the days preceding and the days afterwards, Haim, they are, Mesugalim, they are, against, what does it say? They are propitious, they are special, they are ready. Be Yichud, specially. lilimud, to learning, v'hafatzat, and to spreading out, to teaching, haTorah, the Torah, ba'ofen, in a way, dehamidu, to standing up, talmidim harbe, a lot of pupils. So all these three people, King David and Moses first, and then King David, and then the Baal Shem Tov, all three of them were pillars of the world, and also rabbis to remember, all three of them had tremendous opposition. Enemies, the Jews hated all of them. They had tremendous opposition, all three of them. Moses, Korach, and everybody, the Jews were always complaining. King David, I just explained to you. And the Baal Shem Tov, they stood up to Misnagdim, Mitnadim, against the Baal Shem Tov. Tremendous. Even to this day, there's still, there's not really Mitnagdim, but there's still people that are against it. Why? Because these people wanted to change human personality, and people don't like that. That's what it means. You have to stand up a lot of pupils. What do you mean stand up? That each person that you come in contact with should be another pillar of the world, that they too are willing to stand against all opposition and only be clinging to the creator of the universe, to Hashem, in a happy way. Shalimud, that you're learning, hafatzat, and spreading out of Torah, bekol yom, every day. Va'alachat kama v'kama, and how much more so, bechol shana, every year. Yihiyu should be ba'ofen, in a way, the ma'alim, that you increase, raise up the kodesh and holy things. In holy things you can't say, listen, I did yesterday a lot, today I'm going to do a little bit. I don't have to do so much. No. If I did a lot yesterday, I have to do twice as much today. You always have to be raising up. You know, a person can say, hey, this is ridiculous, I can't do this. The answer is, you're right, you can't. But with Hashem's help, you can do more than what you even dream of. With Hashem's help, you just have to let Hashem help you. You just do your thing, and you'll see that all the time it's increasing. Raising up in holiness, va'ad, until, va'ofen, such in a way, shel chidush, of a novelty, new. Not only will it be just twice as much as yesterday, it'll be a totally different way than yesterday. Sha'al yedei, that by means of chidush b'Torah, learning Torah, nitgaleh, is revealed, keniskar le'el, like we said before, that if you see that the Torah is new, and it is all the time, you feel the godliness in the Torah, you'll reveal hachirush ve'abriya, that the world is new. What does it mean that the world is new? Shekol and Nivroim, that all of the creations, mitchadshim, are renewed, me'ayin, from nothing, liyesh, to something, b'chol rega, every second. So every person that you meet, you'll say, wow, a miracle, this person is alive, he's still existing, right? You wake up in the morning, you say, wow, this is a miracle, here I am still here. Not just every morning, but every second. Everything is just so amazing, such a miracle, right? But I have to know what to do. What does Hashem want you to do? That's why He gave the Torah. But everything will be fresh and new all the time. Okay, Baruch. Al derech zeh, and similarly, okay, Mr. Smith, you with us? Al derech zeh, similarly, that's what we all get. This is the power we get on the holiday of Shavuos. Al derech zeh, similarly, who is the other way around? For what? Sha'al yedei, that by means of limud, learning. V'hafatzas, by means of spreading out. Learning and spreading out. Ha'inyan, the idea. The chidush, of the renewing. Habriya, of the creation. The kol rega, every second. What's he saying? That when you learn Torah, that you'll see that the creation is brand new every second. Also the other way around. When you teach people that the creation is being made every second, then shehu, which is me'ainyanim, from the topics, ha'ikarim, the main topics of Torah Chasidut. This is one of the main lessons of Chasidut. What? That the world is being created brand new every second. This is very important. I don't know if I told you this. There's a mimer of the Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, about matzah. It says matzah is the food of faith. It gives the Jews faith. What is Jewish faith? So he says over there, Jewish faith is not like the faith of the Gentiles. The Gentiles believe that God exists. If they have faith, they believe that there's God. They believe that God provides for them, that God created the world a long time ago. Jewish faith is that the world does not really exist, that God is creating everything every second. That's Jewish faith. Not just that God created the world a long time ago, and that God provides for us and helps us. That's true. That's true. But that, you don't have to have faith for that. That's a yes or no proposition. Either God does create, He did create a long time ago, or He didn't. The world always existed. Either God will provide my needs, or He won't. Either I should pray to or not. But you feel yourself to be a separate entity. Jewish faith is that I am really not anything separate from God. God is creating me every second. This is a thing nobody feels. There's no logical reason for it. You can do very well without it. You don't need to believe in this idea. But the only thing is it's true. And that's the truth that the Jews are bringing to the world. If you feel this, what happens? All of a sudden you realize that God is not just a being. God is not just a spiritual angel or something like that. You realize that God is infinitely more real than you think it is. He's creating me. He's creating me. So if so, you get excited. You're more excited. The Torah, mitzvahs becomes more excited. God is alive. He's more alive than I am. He's creating me. My whole being, as much as I am alive and I love to do what I want, I think, because I'm alive, you realize Hashem is even more alive and more real, and even more my whole existence depends on it. You get excited about Torah. Okay, we don't feel this physically, but Jewish faith is so. That's the Rebbe says, that's what Mashiach is going to bring. The whole world will be filled with the knowledge of God, and that's one of the main lessons of Chassidut. Because Chassidut is called Torah HaMashiach. It's called the teachings of the Messiah. That's what Chassidut is. So when we teach people and tell people about how God is creating the world brand new, Al Yedei Zeh, by means of this, Mekarvim, we make close. There's a better word. Umamarim, and we speed up. Et ha'geula, the redemption, ha'atida, the future redemption. Sha'az, that then, yeh will be, emiti, the true, chirush, newness of the Torah. In the redemption, when Mashiach comes, then the Torah, we're going to see really how new the Torah is. Torah chadasha, a new Torah, me'iti teitze, from me comes out. No one will say maybe the Torah was a thing given 3,000 whatever years ago by Moses, and we still believe in it. You're going to feel the Torah is being given by Hashem every second to me. Huh? By teaching people and telling people and explaining to people that God is creating the whole entire world every second brand new. Okay, good? Gula, the redemption, atida, the future redemption. True. Amitit, true. Yesh Lomer. Okay, so that's what the Rebbe said. Two things. When we learn the Torah properly, it makes us see that the world is being created constantly, and which that's going to be brought about by Mashiach. And conversely, if we tell everybody about how the world is being created constantly, because we have to learn about it ourselves, how the world is being created constantly by God, this speeds up the redemption. Yes. Yes, but you do it from a happiness, yes. From a happy way that you feel that everything is coming from Hashem. But when you say everything is coming from Hashem, even the things that we think are not so good are coming from Hashem. Then when you think that, then you become a little bit calmer. But you don't scream at your next door neighbor, or if your baby is making noise in the night, you don't get all uptight or something like that. You think this is coming from Hashem. Maybe it's going against what I would like to sleep, but it's coming from Hashem. Now I have to know what to do. Now then you're a little bit more calm. You can do things in a normal, productive way. At least you don't do it in a non-productive way. That's called the days of the Mashiach. You become who you really are. That's it again. You become more calm. You become more industrious, more positive, more happy, more, chilled out. about the bad things, more excited about the good things. Good. So that's what it says. If you tell other people about how the world is being created constantly, and of course, like Baruch said, you feel it yourself, then that is a thing that will speed up and make closer the arrival of Mashiach. The Rebbe pointed out that one of the main works of Mashiach is to bring Mashiach. One of the main things of Mashiach is to go around and convince people, convince Jews that Hashem really does exist, Hashem creates the world, and you should do Torah and mitzvahs, and make people do tshuva. That's what the Rebbe is doing with the Chabad houses all over the world. To present people with real, true Judaism, but in a friendly way, in a real way. Right? The whole purpose of the Chabad houses and Chassidut is only that people should be themselves. Like you free people. It's amazing. They go into India, for instance. They go into India. There's Chabad houses in India. Now people go, especially Israelis, they go to India to be free. What do you go to India? You're free. You go to India, you can take drugs, do whatever you want to. There's other than you go in the jungles. They have drugs that cost a penny for whatever it is. Things that cost over here, $15, $20, $100. You can get over there for a rupee or something, and a rupee is like a fifth of a penny. Who knows what it is? Everything costs nothing. You can be free. Oh, over there, yeah, you're free. And they go to these. Then they realize they take drugs. No, it's not really free because you have to pay a rupee. I'll go and really be free. So they go to some guru, and he teaches you how to get high all the time for free. Just sit there and free. So they go there and they say, this is not really right. I'm missing out on all these drugs and all these other things, all this fun. Maybe that's not the way. So it can't really figure out what's really being free. So all of a sudden there's a Chabad house. It goes into the Chabad house and they say, man, being free is not this and it's not this. Being free means being yourself. And you're a Jew. What does a Jew do if he's based himself? He'll put on tefillin and keep Shabbos. All of a sudden the guy realizes, hey, this is me. This is my real self. That's called being free. Suddenly he realizes that taking drugs is not being free, and running around and acting like an animal is not being free, and acting like a plant is not being free, sitting like that. That's not being free. What is being free? Being yourself. Right? Being yourself, dealing with the world. Sometimes the world has difficulties in it. Sometimes the world. That's called being free. So says the Rebbe that that's the idea of Geula, that the Mashiach is one who frees people, who makes them themselves. That's the kesher, the beginning of, okay, and this is Gam also, HaKesher, the connection, the Techilas HaTorah, the beginning of the Torah, Im with Hatchalata, the beginning of Matan Torah. The Techilat HaTorah, that the beginning of the Torah, he is Breishis Bora Elokim, as a Shemayim V'Zoretz. I'll do this again tomorrow. And Mizeh, and from this, Boyim, we come to the beginning of the giving of the Torah. Vayadaber Elokim is called the Borim Elu. Elokim created the world, and Elokim gave the Torah, the same name of God. And then L'Hatchala, the Matan Torah, to the beginning of the actual Ten Commandments. Anochi, I am God, Elokeicha, Asher Hotzeiticha, that took you out of the land of Egypt. Shebezeh, that this Nichlal is included. Gam also, when God said, I took you out of Egypt, this also included Gam, also Geula Atida, the future redemption. Yibiyameh, that in the days of going out of Egypt, I will show you miracles. There's a book called the Smak. I told you about this before, that it says over there, how do we know from the Torah that there's going to be a Mashiach? How? What does it say in the Torah? So it says, the answer is the first of the Ten Commandments. I am God that took you out of Egypt. That we know that Mashiach, just like God took us out of Egypt then, there's going to be somebody like Moses who's going to take us out of all of our personal problems in the future. Take you out of Egypt. So that's the whole connection of the beginning of the Torah. What's the beginning of the Torah? Creating of the world. To the giving of the Torah, which is I am God that took you out of Egypt. Why I created the world, as God willing, we're going to talk about more tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone. Okay, Baruch?